work professionally. There are other extraneous considerations. You found Keroche Industries. You know, the Karanja was arrested for non-payment of taxes. But that did not amount to paying taxes because you have slept in the cells. What you do in an organized society is what Kibaki did. You let the tax collectors look around who is not paying enough tax and come up with measures of how you pay more as you continue paying the little that you are paying. That is money that will be helping the exchequer. You find Mwai Kibaki, I don't know whether you remember the ball. If you walked around this town, outside every building where there were banks, you would find tents outside. Banks were hawking loans, pleading with you to come inside and get a loan and go and do business. The reverse today is the reality, you know, because Kibaki did not encourage domestic borrowing from government. Yes. You know, now today, the banks, because of conflict of interest and state capture, are lending money to government because it is an easier route, because it is safe. So there is no money available to the business people because banks are lending to the government. But Mwai Kibaki, because he was not conflicted in any way, you know, discouraged that. What has happened today is that the people of Kenya are borrowing from Fuliza because the banks have no money to lend to the people of Kenya because the amounts are being loaned to government. The way we mourn Mwai Kibaki today is as we mourn him as an illustrious son from Nyeri and a great economist for this country, is that as we mourn his death, we equally mourn the killing of his achievements in terms of the economy. Today, as we bury Mwai Kibaki this weekend, 14 million Kenyans are in CRB. They cannot borrow because they have been listed. That is the amount of trouble we are in as a country. Finally, Kibaki the Democrat. Mwai Kibaki, even if you disagreed with him, he will never use state instruments to coerce people, to intimidate people, to follow his line of thinking. He let everybody be, you know, and he has never used the state agencies to coerce people to agree with him. He let everybody be, and he allowed people to democratically decide how they want to be led and by who. And his greatest legacy, you know, I had my friend Uhuru Kenyatta saying we should emulate Mwai Kibaki, and I was very excited. I trust he'll emulate him. Mwai Kibaki was president, was MP for Udaya for 39 years. Never did he ever sit a group of people down to ask them to elect the next member of parliament for Udaya after his departure. He let the people of Udaya do what they want to do. As president, you would not even know where he voted. He just kept quiet. And that is why you find everybody is unanimous about his legacy. Because he didn't create any conflict with anybody. He let the people of Kenya do what they should do. He allowed them to democratically choose his successor. Thank you. And I hope the way I heard our president say that we should all emulate Mwai Kibaki, he will lead by example by allowing the people of Kenya like Mwai Kibaki to freely and democratically choose their next leader. And that will also contribute to a great extent to his peaceful retirement and utmost respect from Kenyans across the country. Thank you.
Right. Don't you think also we are past that particular junction as it is right now in terms of?
Well, it's not. It's never late. It's never late to do the right thing.
Okay. Let's hear from Kabando. Kabando.
Thank you very much. Once more, let me say I've not been in these studios for over 9 years.
Over 9 years.
Over 9 years, and not that I've not been invited. And Kibaki is the reason more that I've come back.
Thank you.
Let me say that many things will be said about Mwai Kibaki, and many things have been said, and mostly because he has spent a long time in national leadership, his endurance. Perhaps I should just mention some of the little things that may not be in the script.
Yes.
for the generation of intellectuals, the young people who are seeking advancement in education, it's good to say that in this country, there is no constituency that has the number and the status of schools like Othaya. Every primary school in Othaya has a secondary school attached to it. And this is not something that came because Kibaki used his position as a minister or a vice president or as a president. It is because Kibaki, since 1974, when he left Bahati constituency for Othaya, he was literally every week in Othaya constituency doing something educational. So if you do a mapping of the whole country, the 290 constituencies, or the 210 then, or the 188 before then, there isn't any other constituency that can claim to be near anywhere near the number of good schools, boarding schools and day schools, boys schools and girls schools, like in Othaya. And that is because Kibaki mobilized private resources. He mobilized the professionals within Othaya and his friends nationally, and the troops back to Othaya. To the extent that sometimes people made fun of him when he was vice president and was being fought within government then, that he was a vice president for Othaya. But the fact is, he was the MP for Othaya, and any other position, governmental, either minister or even as a vice president, was appointive. So the legitimate leadership that is he got from Othaya people when they invited him to go back to Othaya from Nairobi was rewarded by his dedication to the people of Othaya. Many of us schooled in Othaya. And the schools in Othaya also have a report card on Kibaki. He did not proclaim it, he never spoke about it, but I know very many students that benefited from Kibaki scholarship. He never spoke about it. But his private income would stream to certain bright students in various schools in Othaya constituency, children of the poor peasants in Othaya, and now became prominent professionals. I remember as a primary school kid, I was very fond of the radio in the evening news. And in the announcement, you would always, maybe every fortnight, once a month, hear an announcement about people meeting at Charter Hall. And not come to Nairobi then. Charter Hall is the hall, at the City Hall. The City Hall. For fundraising of this or another student going to study outside the country, mostly in India those times. And a good number of those people were Kibaki constituents. So as a member of parliament, he was very, very effective. Secondly, I don't know of any member of parliament who consistently received such a resounding victory in every election. In my reviews, I think I'm saying 97% average of voter endorsement in Othaya as a member of parliament. That is for 74, 79, 83, 88, 92, 97, 02, and even 07. So Kibaki had a democratic endorsement that was very admirable. And every time he was, the first time I met him, I was a little kid. He had come to Harambe in a place near my home, but on the side of Muranga, Catholic Catholic Church, hosted by the then member of parliament, Fayaz Washira then. And I saw a man who was very composed, very polite, because we walked long distance to go and just meet the vice president then. And so he was very impressive as a leader, because you see, listening to people, at the dais, talking to the other person there, and his speech, very collected with a little piece of paper, from his pocket, and you'll always refer to it, and very captivating. The second time I met Kibaki was past 9 p.m. when you are about to go to a dormitory in Othaya Boys, where I was a Form 1 student. The current member of Othaya, Gichoki Mugambi was the head boy or the captain of that boys then. He was in Form 4, I was in Form 1. There was a Harambe. And Kibaki had delegated John King, his late friend, and his brother-in-law, Gerishon Gishoki, the one who was married to Her Excellency Lucy Kibaki's sister, and Alex Kibaki Mureithi, his nephew, and the late Monene Cairo. He had another function within the constituency, and he was a vice president then, that's 1983. And because he did not make it to our Harambe, other boys, he came just a few minutes to the bell to go to sleep. And we saw his vehicles entering the gate, and Mr. Gichoki Mugambi, then our captain, mobilized the school to go to the parade. And in his less than 2-minute speech, just held the captain's hand, spoke with Mr. Titus Kimana, our headmaster then, now they are called principals, and asked, Mulipata Pesa, Yangu, how did it go? He just wanted to confirm that the delegation he had sent to represent him in the Harambe, in other boys secondary school, had done the best. And today other boys, of course, is one of the most beautiful and most prosperous schools in the country. The other thing I can talk about Kibaki is the respect that he sustained among his peers. I have gone out of my way many times to speak to Kibaki's friends. I can mention 2 of them, elderly people. One of them, they call him Guka. He's called Guka at Modega Golf Club. He's called Solomon Karanja. Ambassador Solomon Karanja was the pioneer registrar of the University of Nairobi. Then there's an elder called Nat Kangede. And everyone you talk to, who is Kibaki's age mate or peer, they talk about a man who was very decent, very focused, and very inspiring. I don't know of any other person in Kenya who has been a patron of national institutions, lifetime patron. When Tomboya left, Kibaki, as Honorable Manzo already mentioned, became the patron of Starehe Boys. Starehe Boys is a very special school, and for you to be retained in all seasons, despite political changes and seasons, even sometimes acrimonious, that you are entrusted to be a patron of such a school lifetime means that your status as a citizen, as an inspiration, is unblemished. Also, Mwai Kibaki leaves the scene as a lifetime patron of Kenyan Golf Union. Again, everywhere you go, every golf club in Kenya is a lifetime member, and the event.
Okay.
So,
I'm sorry to butt in because I can see also the casket is already there in Parliament right now as they want to stand on ceremony and of course observe the national anthem. Let's just listen in. This is the second day that the late third commander-in-chief